Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, wait, is this where the YouTube part's gonna start? Because I can't say that at the very beginning. Let's try that again. 3, 2, 1. Hey, I totally didn't just swear at the very beginning of the video, and YouTube really wouldn't like that. Welcome to the stream. Whoops. Today is February 1st, still, 8 p.m. on my end, which means it is Pretty Cure Day. And the voice crack. It is the series' 20th anniversary. Now, I did a stream like this last year after Tropical Rouge, and I thought, hey, let's do another one. Why the hell not? Plus, it's the 20th, so double why the hell not. And we're going to start with me turning that video off. Me muting the microphone because I had a cough there. And, oh god, where is it? Oh, turn the camera on, yay! Because this is the discussion section. And I do own a camera. This is the good camera too. I set it up here. The screen's down here. My built-in camera is here. This is my nice camera. Hi, camera. I only use the camera for discussion segments and when I got stuff to show off. And, well, I don't have stuff to show off. I've only got my phone, but it has a Love Live sticker on the back. That's not Pretty Cure. Besides the Pretty Cure stuff there, but I talked about that last time probably. Instead, we'll be talking about Delicious Party, because that just wrapped up a few days ago. Today's Wednesday, that was on Sunday. So there are going to be spoilers, naturally, of course, but, well, that's kind of to be expected when you're doing a discussion segment on it after it's already finished. If you haven't seen the last episode yet, I recommend you watch it. I'll say there's not much there story-wise, but if you're like a few episodes behind, then hell yeah. Everything happens in the last, like, 5 episodes. 4. So, yeah, you're gonna get spoiled for stuff there. Excuse me. I'm still fighting a little bit of that. My only problem is I got like a little cough here. A cough here in my Hug Toe Pretty Cure shirt, which I wore just for today. And my Kingdom Hearts blanket, which is kind of coincidental because we're doing Kingdom Hearts on the YouTube uploads. But that's neither here nor there, because we're here to talk about Delicious Party. Which, funny enough, I have been getting questions about if I will discuss Delicious Party on the Kingdom Hearts uploads. So it all ties together. Oh, so that means the blanket does work. My Kingdom Hearts blanket. Where to start? I guess, just in general, I really like Delicious Party. It was solid the entire way through. I can't say I didn't dislike any of the characters. Ron annoyed me a lot, but I kind of came around to her by the end, and by that I mean I didn't hate her anymore. She's just not the kind of person I would hang out with or want to be near for a majority of the time. Yeah, I gotta love that mute. But she was fine. She was fine there. I loved Amane. Well, but then again, she's also just my kind of character, the straightforward student council one. That's why I really liked Hirogaru in Smile. Karen was great in Pretty Cure 5. Just that kind of character, period. That's who I'm behind. I'm looking at the screen now. I will say, Rosemary is definitely my favorite support character we've had out of all of the series. He was, but just from when he first appeared, he was fantastic, and then he just got better. Unlike a lot of... Better to mute that for 2 seconds than... Oh, let that go through. Lordy, let me get a drink real quick. Get me some root beer. Got that after work. A lot of the time the support characters are just the fairies, and they're like, yeah, go get them, fight the bad guys, fight the bad guys, and get the jewels, or whatever the hell they're doing. But he was right there the whole time, and he did a lot in the last 10 episodes or so, and even in the beginning too. He fought alongside Precious before everyone else joined up. And then when it came to Godats, and when Cinnamon came in, he was right on the front line. He was great. We need more characters like Mari-chan. It was just fantastic. I could appreciate Takumi doing Black Pepper, because he's the Tuxedo Mask character. Except he's genuinely helpful and shows, unlike our boy, what was his name in the English version? Darian? I think it was Darian. In the Japanese, he's Mamoru, which is kind of on the nose, but I want to say it was Darian. Yeah, Tuxedo Mask just shows up for 3 seconds, and then he's like, you can do it, girls, and then he leaves. Black Pepper, Takumi, like, jumps in, and he's like, pew, 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 pew. And he, like, actually does stuff. He helps, and he has an entire character arc in his alter ego persona. He had, like, 3 episodes in a row there, and even at the end, where he was just like, well, can I keep doing this? Do I have the right to do this? Kind of came up some. And that's another thing that I'm going between topics here. But each of the series always has, in the end, there's the lesson of the week most of the time. And so the series has always been pretty good in that it rarely hits you over the head with it. Eat your vegetables. That kind of shit. There were some interesting themes in Delicious Party. And my favorite was, I want to say it was in the 30s or so, after Amine already joined us finale, and I want to say it was either right after they captured Narcissiru or right before. I love her dynamic with him. That was great. It reminded me a lot of Beauty and Joker. I love it when there's a dynamic between the characters. And to a lesser extent, like Wolfrun and Sunny had one. That was a bit more one-sided. But between, finale and I'm really getting distracted. Narcissiru. The lesson of the episode was, it's okay, it's normal to hate sometimes, and it's okay, but you can't let that control you. And I was like, hold up, this is my baby child show, and it's telling me it's okay to hate now and then, but that's pretty real. Damn, that's a lot more real than we get as adults. That stuck with me, and I love that the show, it doesn't matter how old you are, the show can still speak to you. It, even things that we say to kids ourselves now, we don't think it. And sometimes I'll just be, I've said all this last year, but I'll just be watching and then it's over, and I'm still thinking about whatever they were talking about in the episode, and I'm like, yeah? Yeah, I suppose so. I haven't thought about that in like 20 years or something. Or I've never thought of it that way before. That's the best. I've never thought of it that way before. And you just get a new way of looking at something. That's my favorite part of Pretty Cure as a whole, and Delicious Party definitely kept that going. Plus Kumamon was in it for like 2 episodes, so I met him. Not just a guy in the suit, I met the guy in the suit a few years back for a fall festival here in San Antonio. We had we had the real Kumamon guy in the real Kumamon suit here for Akimatsuri, and I was helping out that year, and I got to meet him. I was like, oh, that's cool. That's kind of weird. And then when he showed up in the episode, it's like, Kumamon, what the fuck are you doing here? Oh, I've got I have a little pin for him that I got at Akimatsuri. I think I know where it is, but it's back there and probably attached to a bag, and I'm not going to dig it out. I might do it and then take a picture and put it on Twitter or something. Follow the Twitter for updates on stream news. I hate shilling. I really do. I do the thing in the chat when I start and when I close, but I can't. I'm not the kind of guy who can say, smash that like button and click subscribe. You know what the subscribe button is. You know what the like button is. I've had people subscribe. I've had people like videos. You people understand this stuff, and I trust you to say, oh, hey, I like it, and do what you will. Or if you're kind of an asshole like me, you just watch the video and go, hey, good work. I do subscribe to channels that I watch a lot, though. I usually don't like videos. Oh no, that's weird. This is also a weird tangent to be going off of. How can I tie this back into Pretty Cure? Like videos. Ron had an Instagram knockoff account. I've really let my Instagram go. But I posted for the anniversary, and that's how we get back into Pretty Cure. I like that Secretarium was stalking everyone through Ron's Instagram. I don't remember what they called it. What was it, Curesta or something? It was some weird thing. But she was just like, oh, hey, there's an idea. I'm gonna steal ramen. And I was like, oh, And thinking about it, was that the first time social media's been a proper thing in the series? I'm drawing a blank here. I mean, like, I'm sure characters have looked at pictures on something, but it's never been like a big thing. Like, it was part of Ron's arc. She wanted to do that better. She met an influencer in one episode. And I don't think anything like that's been done before, which is kind of odd considering how long social media's been doing all this stuff for, like, good God, probably 8 or 10 years. It all really started flaring up. And the series never really did anything with that. No. They switched to cell phones for Fresh. And that didn't really go anywhere. I thought that was it. They had an iPad in one of them. What was it? Was the one with the iPad? Was that... That wasn't... Doki Doki had an iPad, but so did another one. I don't know. It wasn't it wasn't a real iPad, but oh, it's the little purple thing on my shelf there. I don't know if you can see it. I've got a really small one, but yeah, we don't. Not I never really thought it before. We rarely see trends like that pop up as things, or maybe I'm just blind to them. Probably that last one. Oh, oh, oh my God! What was his name? The robot. Spiritoru. Yeah, that's right. It was okay. He showed up every now and then. He was a pawn. He did some stuff. I guess there was like no reaction to him from the viewers, and then they just kind of pushed him to the side or something. Because then later he was just a tool, and then our sister was like, "Oh hey, I built you, and now I'm going to change you." So yeah, apparently he was voiced by some famous comedian I've never heard of in Japan, which is why I've never heard of him. And my neck is bugging something fierce, but that's nothing new. I just never have the camera on, so you don't know it. And I guess to wrap up on the bad guys for now, we could talk about Godats. I am very pleased with Godats. Like the whole time they were trying to set up Cinnamon as being the bad guy, but you know that's not true. So, well, he was framed. Well, who was he framed by? And then part of you expects you'd like them to go, it doesn't matter. And another part's like, well, what if it's someone on the inside? Not Rosemary wouldn't do it. And then they introduce Ginger, and you're like, oh, what if Godats is this Ginger guy? And then we meet him, and he's a cat. And then that's pretty much done. Shut up! You've dropped up on the screen! Dude, why are you a cat? But he was a cat. Okay. I'm still unclear if he was an actual cat, like some kind of man-cat hybrid, or if he was a man in a cat suit who thought he was a cat. It reminds me of, God, I can't believe I just remembered this. Adam West in The Fairly Odd Parents. He was Catman, and he thought he was a cat, or he just lived as a cat. He was Adam West, and he played Catman on TV, but he lived life like he was Catman and he was a cat. So he like had a litter box and everything. And that's just what I think of now when I see Ginger. and I don't know how to feel about that. But I was really pleased that Fennel wound up being the bad guy. They set it up pretty well before, but it was still a little ambiguous. Honestly, there was a point, I want to say like 6 episodes before the end, or 7, where I wasn't unsure if Cinnamon was going to be the bad guy. They like twisted it a bit again or something, and I was like, oh, wait, hold on. They've been building up to be a fine guy, but what if? It was good at what if. And then when Fennel revealed, I lost my shit. It was fantastic. I loved that. We need more twists like that. What we need is a twist where the main helper, like Rosemary, turns out to be the bad guy. We haven't had that yet. We need that. Someone who's the guy who has been helping them the entire series, to just like right there with them, and then turns around, boom, bad guy. Oh, that would be fantastic. And like, none of the bad guys know it, because they always have like this shadowy puppet leader, hologram, whatever thing that they always have doing all that. It'd be a total Palpatine thing. except, you know, he'd actually be there every episode instead of maybe just every now and then when the Senate convenes. Or he needs to give Anakin really bad ideas. But yes, Fiddle as Godats, fantastic. I loved it. His motivation was fine. He was pissed that Ginger didn't trust him to handle the special delicious stones on his own, and he just felt like he didn't get enough attention in general between Cinnamon and Rosemary coming in. He was kind of a whiny bitch about it, and then he became the bad guy. I can respect that from an emotional point, but that's also throwing a child's tantrum and turning into a supervillain, and I can't respect that. Overall, I'll save the overall for when we do the bad guy ranking later on. I'm doing another tier list because that's what people want. I'm not into them myself, but that's what people want. It's been a year, and that is my most... It's probably my most viewed by now, but it is definitely my most commented. I have had conversations with people in the comments of that video on what they think of parts of the series. I was just talking with someone the other day about the interpretation of George with Hana in Hugto. And it's great. I love that you guys love talking about this, and I love talking about this. I wish I could do more of this. I just can't come up with more things for this. Like, I can do things for the anniversary, but I would love to do more Pretty Cure content in general, but there aren't a whole lot of games, and I don't just want to make lists of things. That's just not my style, you know? I'd love to see if I could come up with something to make content around. I am I'm working on an adaptation of the Resident Evil deck building game. If you've played that, that's Pretty Cure themed. I had an initial build that played relatively well, but the math was pretty bad, and I needed to retool a lot of effects for things like that. Once I get that more put together, maybe I'll do a special stream for that, get some friends, we'll play. I'd have to figure out how to set all that up, but I think that would be pretty cool. And definitely once I get it figured out, I'll share all the files and everything. It's a few hundred cards to print, but but that and my Love Live board game, I would be perfectly glad to share once they're finalized. If you have ideas for Pretty Cure content, leave it in the comments below. Like, comment, and subscribe. I should not be doing that with my throat the way it's been. But I also can't say any of that with a straight face. Do I have anything else to say in general for Delicious Party? I mentioned when I opened, it was solid throughout. It never felt like there were really weak points. Like, the second half of Ala Mode. I just couldn't get into that. I honestly don't even remember if I finished Ala Mode. That's how sketchy my memory gets there. And like the middle third of Mahotsukai really felt like it sank down for me. I didn't feel any of that here. I was always excited for the next episode. I was like, oh, hell yeah. Kokone doesn't want to eat broccoli. Sure. What, or green peppers. Yeah, sure. Whatever. Let's do it. It felt solid, but at the same time, I didn't feel like it excelled as much as some of the other series, like Hugto. I love Hugto, mostly because of the way the interaction between Hana and George, and just kind of the underlying motivations there, why the bad guys are doing what they're doing, and how it cycles back around. And we'll get into some of that later when we talk about George in the villains bit. And yeah, it solid. I don't want to say safe, but it just didn't push far enough. I'm quite interested to see what Hirogaru Sky is going to do. I haven't looked into it at all. And in fact, I read the synopsis like on the main website the other day when I was putting this together. It was on the wiki, and I wanted to make sure what... I was checking something for it. I don't remember what I was checking. But I read the basic synopsis, like, the main character is Sora, and she's from whatever world she's from, being a pretty cure superhero, and she comes to ours, where I would imagine she meets our primary protagonist who we associate with. Which is an interesting take on that, because Sora Cure Sky is an actual hero. And everyone else is just kind of following in her steps. That's going to be interesting to figure out there. I have not seen anything for it. I know there's a trailer. I didn't watch it because Delicious Party was ongoing. I like to finish what's happening now before I look to what's happening next. And I thought, because why the hell not? Let's do a... Wrong with me. A reaction to the Hirogaru Sky trailer. Now, I set this up in OBS, but I had this covering it so I couldn't see anything. And I had the sound muted so I couldn't hear anything. I balanced it in the audio mixer so it doesn't deafen anyone. I haven't seen this. So, I've only seen her. I'm moving the mouse, but you guys can't see my cursor. So let's see what this is. Oh, is that a big man? Yeah, that's a Sunday. That's about what I figured from a 30-second preview. So, she's from Skyland. We got like Angel Island from Sonic 3 going on there. There's a pig man. He's going to be one of the generals. He's not the main bad guy. And she has a purple baby. And the purple baby is going to be the key to beating the pig man? Or is the purple baby like going to be not the new Rosemary, but like Fua or Latte or something, or Hug Tongue, but maybe not with as much story implication. I don't know. She's going to be a MacGuffin, undoubtedly. I got a lot less out of that than I thought I was going to, I'll be honest. But interesting. Yeah, again, I hadn't seen any. Even when I pulled up the page, I would, for Hirogaru Sky, I would scroll down so I don't see anything. I don't know how many characters they plan. I don't know what the... I know Kira Sky is the main one, and she's blue. This is our first series where the main character is blue instead of pink, which is interesting. That's all I know. And there's a purple berry and a pig man, a big purple pig. Ganon is in Hirogaru Sky, so that's something. I guess we'll find out this Sunday. I would imagine Crunchyroll's going to be doing it. They picked up Delicious Party and Tropical Rouge immediately. I'd imagine they're going to do the Hirogaru Sky also. That's another thing I meant to mention. I hope that the opening does not get claimed. I think Tropical Rouge did last year when I did that. I don't know. Well, I think that's all I've got for that. The fairies were okay. I like that they turned into food and that the girls had to eat them to transform. That was kind of morbid, but I was into it. Because it happened the first time. You're like, oh god, what? What? And then, like, they're fine. And it doesn't make any sense. But it's cool. And I like how Mim goes, Wonton! That was, I did it every time he did it. It was fantastic. Yeah. Let me know if I missed something. If you wanna, if you've got your own opinions on Delicious Party, comment them. I do read and respond to the comments. I always appreciate them as well. Let's play a little bit of game now.